For as long as I can remember, I've lived my life in pursuit of a singular goal. My existence has been a quest to find an item of ultimate power, and today, after decades of searching over dozens of continents, I've finally located it. The War Rock. Legend says the individual who finds this ancient artifact is permitted to ask it one question, and I know just what I want to know.
Yo, how come you suck? How come you're so bad?
Good afternoon, Jank enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-Minute Testing. I am pleased to announce that today I will be taking a look at the most powerful and meta-defining archetype ever printed since Worms. I am speaking, of course, about the butt of many a Yugi-tuber joke, War Rocks. Before we begin, however, I'd like to talk to you about Raid Shadow Legends. Hey, good to see you here. Quick question. Do you know if War Boy is coming? My favorite War Boy simulator, and also RPG, is celebrating its second year of awesome gameplay. In that short time, Raid has become the #1 mobile RPG in the US.
Yeah, huge honor, huge honor.
Currently, there are over 1 million players every day, over 2 billion battles, over 10 billion PvE battles fought, and apparently a sizable community of individuals dedicated to maxing out bad heroes. Guilty as charged. Raid wants to thank all the awesome players and creators who have joined the community in recent years. From the songs and the competitions, to the cosplay, the good times, and the content creators who have helped the player community grow and thrive. Come join Raid for a third year of battles, mayhem, and fun. I like to spend my time upgrading my flagship champions, Karam and Warpriest, but also pining over Warboy. Oh, Warboy, someday your single skill will come in handy. And once they're nice and fed, I like to take my heroes to the dungeon to fight against big ol' bosses. Go get 'em, Warboy. As part of their anniversary events, Raid is also launching their first ever Clan v Clan tournament, and I can't believe I'm saying this, you can still join ours. That's PLSS Gang, 6 months, not banned. If you want to get a huge head start in Raid, all you have to do is click the link in the description or scan the QR code you're seeing right now, and you'll get your free epic champion, Jotun, 100,000 silver, 50 gems, and 3 ancient shards. I mean, look at this guy. He's practically Plunder Patrol support. You'll find your extra rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only. Just click the link in the description, and I'll see you in the game. So here's the list, and this is the most online deck I've ever seen. Sorry, I should clarify. I don't mean it spends 10 hours a day arguing about fandom discourse. I mean, if you buy this in paper, I'm coming to your house to redistribute your going second staples. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. With that, let's weasel into Warboy. Warrock, still thinking about Raid. Warrock is an archetype lambasted by the short-sighted player base, mocked by the Yugi-tubing public, scorned by the brain geniuses on Reddit.com, and while it's not very good, is it really worse than Armed Dragon Thunder, S-Force, Springans, Dual Avatar, or any of the other completely forgettable archetypes Konami's been printing like the Federal Reserve lately? No, is the answer to that. War Rocks are a series of Earth Warrior monsters that all care about the battle phase. How original. They're also sort of unintuitive. Each one, with an exception, has an effect that gives all War Rocks you control 200 attack points after damage calculation. This means that in a simplified board state, these monsters can get out of hand very quickly. While they're not fantastic at OTKing, they are pretty good at taking advantage of combo decks that have already exhausted their resources. So let's plan to exhaust their resources. We're going to do that with some of the most powerful going second tools ever conceived, kaijus, storms, and droplets, and supplement those with some of the most powerful consistency tools ever printed in pots. I know I usually get a couple of extra sentences in here, but I don't even know what you'd even want me to talk about. The ethics of this thing? I mean, I think we both know I shouldn't further endorse anything that happens in this episode. So with that, let's get into the card by card. Firstly, the rocks. 1 Bachilios, the big bad boy who closes out games by attacking directly. 3 Orpus, Cyber Dragon, if Cyber Dragon was terrible. 3 Forsha, Stratos, if Stratos was terrible. And 2 Gakdos, Bubbleman, if Bubbleman was terrible. Next, we're on 3 Kaiju, 2 Gamciel and 1 Jizikuri, 3 Gamma, and a Driver. For spells, we're on 3 Pot of Extravagance, 2 Pot of Prosperity, 3 copies of Lightning Storm, 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet, 2 Dark Hole, we had to make cuts somewhere, 1 Raigeki, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, Set Rotation, Terraforming, the field spell that makes the deck tick, War Rock Mountain, and 1 Mystic Mine. The extra deck is just a bunch of stuff we're never going to summon. These could be fusionists for all it matters. So with that, let's jump into the games. Our first match is up against Odd Eyes Magician, and God, I wish this deck was any good whatsoever. You can see they're really deep in the pool of playables. They're playing Advent and Riches. More power to you. They make us go first, so we pass. Our opponent's going to activate Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon and follow it up with a Spiral Flame Strike. That's going to get them an Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and then they'll Pendulum Summon 1 copy of Persona. They'll proceed to the end phase, and ha! I got them on the gamer's trick! They forgot, because I don't have any monsters on my side of the field, that I went first. Great, we're going to begin with a copy of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber to get ourselves a copy of Jizukuri and then a GamCL. That will trigger the Pendulum. They'll go ahead and get a Mirage, and we'll fire off the Raigeki. Alright, Mirage has text on it. Okay, well, we're going to normal summon a copy of Forsha and special summon a Gactos, then proceed to the battle phase, walking into the Mirage with our Forsha in order to get a War Rock Mountain to hand. We're doing a ton of damage here, and in main phase 2, we can activate War Rock Mountain and get a Bachilios to our hand as well. We should have this wrapped up. Our opponent draws for turn. Ooh, that complicates things. They're going to set Phantasm and then activate Sky Iris. Sky Iris is insane in this deck because it not only searches cards, it triggers the effect of the Arc Pendulum. They'll set the Dissolver they got and then Pendulum Summon 1, the Pendulum Dragon, before activating Dissolver to bring out Vortex. Okay, there goes Jizukuri. They're going to set 1. We'll activate Warrock Mountain. They'll attack into Forsha. We'll activate Bachilios' effect. They'll negate. That allows us to actually resolve the effect of Forsha. We'll send this copy of Mountain to the graveyard to get another one from our deck, and we should be set up for a victory on our next battle phase. Now, we could summon Jizukuri, but this is funnier. We're going to give them a GamCL, and then we're going to normal summon a copy of Orpus. We'll activate Gactos' effect, and our field is full. We'll proceed to the battle phase and walk into their GamCL, triggering every effect of the War Rocks on our side of the field, and then activate Bachilios' effect in graveyard, which then, of course, can attack directly. We'll do that after we walk over the GamCL. So it's time for game 2, and our opponent is playing trap cards in Salamangreat and making us go first. What is the point outside of screwing up our replays? At least we have Gamma. They're going to go from Buffalo into Balinx, and God, I love how this interaction works. They'll draw a couple of cards and fire off a Sign and Mining for Not Gazelle. Must have banished it off that Desires. Just a little bit of justice in this world. They'll bring back this copy of Jack Jaguar and this Spinny to OT Chaos. They're going to go from Update Jammer into Transcode Talker, but thankfully we do have the Gamma for the activation of the Transcode Talker, and they have functionally no follow-up. After that goes to the graveyard, they're going to set 2 and pass turn. Maybe we can make this happen. This is a huge opening. We're going to normal summon a copy of Forsha and special summon a copy of Gactos. We'll proceed to the battle phase and get in for 17. She'll gain 200 and get a War Rock Mountain to hand, and Gactos will get in for 21. We're almost halfway there. We're going to activate Prosperity in main phase 2, going for 3, and the Punish comes out. Just a bunch of stuff we already had. We'll go for the Mountain and get ourselves a copy of Bachilios before passing back to our opponent. They draw another IDP. They're going to normal summon a copy of Lady Debug in order to get a Spinny to hand. Then they'll activate Spinny. They'll go into a Balinx and then activate the graveyard effect of Spinny so they can afterwards go into a Sunlight Wolf a couple of times, torrentialing at a point where they can banish a Balinx instead of get it destroyed. But did you know? All of these monsters float. We're going to go into 2 copies of Orpus. They're going to activate Jaguar's effect. That's going to add a Flame Buffalo from their graveyard back to the hand. They will set 2 and pass back to us. This is a fantastic turn. We're going to lead with a Dark Hole. That will be prevented by the Balinx, and we'll follow it up with an Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. We're going to normal summon a Forsha, and I knew it was too good to be true. Okay, IDP comes down. We get in for 1100, but we're getting there slowly. We'll go for a copy of Prosperity in main phase 2, and I am not screwing around this time. We find... Yeah, not a lot of good stuff here. I guess we're going to take the set rotation because we maybe need another copy of War Rock Mountain. Our opponent's going to normal summon a copy of Flame Buffalo, trigger its effect. At least we could have negated it this time. And then go for the Jack Jaguar at link point so they can make Sunlight Wolf. Set 2 and flip up Rivalry. Oh, that's really bad for us. Oh, and even worse, we draw the Mystic Mine. So now the set rotation that we used our Prosperity for is off. Okay, well, we've got them to 16. That's something. They draw another IDP. They're going to normal summon a copy of Flame Buffalo at link point. Then they're going to activate Foxy's effect, destroying their own copy of Rivalry to make Boros. They'll get in for 55, set 1, and... that's really good news for us. Okay, we'll give them GamCL, fire off the Terraforming for a War Rock Mountain. We're going to activate War Rock Mountain. Fantastic. We're going to normal summon a copy of Forsha, go to the battle phase, trigger Mountain. Out comes Bachilios, and... oh, we are just never getting out of this game, aren't we? Okay, we'll attack into this copy of GamCL, and they will strike our Forsha even. No need to do that. We'll activate Forsha's effect, but we don't have anything big enough to get over the GamCL, and we still have to walk our Orpus away so we can fire off the Mystic Mine. And now... Yu-Gi-Oh! As Kazuki Takahashi intended. We draw a copy of Pot of Extravagance, which is pretty good. We'll banish the remainder of our extra deck, but just a lot of clearing cards, not a monster. All we need is any monster. Any of them will do. Raigeki is not a monster. My kingdom for a single brown card. What off the top? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Ugh. Okay, I'll be more specific. I need a monster I can summon. That's better. We draw a Gyarados. We're going to set one card and pass turn because I'm sure that back row is going to kill us. They'll activate Draconian Prison of Snow and Sky. Out comes IDP followed by the Cyanide Mining, and that means that they have it. They're going to normal summon the Foxy, activate Rage, pop our Mystic Mine, and we're dead. So it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's playing Bird Up, and we have gotten our wish. We are going second, and our hand is fantastic. Do your worst with your Pot of Prosperity. Enjoy your tanky, enjoy your full combo. It will all be for naught when the Raigeki strikes. They're going to fire off the tanky, not playing around Droll-and-Lock either. Sus to go for Fractar, sending a copy of Cobalt Sparrow. They'll go Turquoise Warbler, bring back the Sparrow, and Sparrow effect to get a copy of Nerval. From here they can overlay for a Recitable Starling, and not even playing around Ghost Ogre, no respect whatsoever. They'll add a copy of Sapphire Swallow to hand, and then activate its effect with the Nerval. Nerval's effect to get a copy of Flagette, and then they'll make an Appaloosa. From here things get a little dicey. They'll activate the effect of Nerval in order to get a copy of Kit to hand, and we have not yet normal summoned, so we'll do it on that. Banishing 3 for a Simorg, and then proceeding to end step with an Almirage. They're going to, at end step, activate the effect of Simorg to get a copy of Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, and we will lay down the lightning, baby! They'll Almirage, but oh no! A monster remains on your field! It looks as if your board is quite susceptible to my Mystic Mine! They'll Prosperity, and oh my god, that's the entire extra deck! Wow, well, any aggressive push could really win the game here. I mean, they can't really rebuild without the extra. But then again, why push? Why make any aggressive play whatsoever? Sure, we could take a Forsha, a Mountain, an Interrupted Kaiju Slumber here. But we're also the player with the Mystic Mine. We have more cards in deck than our opponent. Who's to say what will happen if we pass 75 times? I forsake the battle phase! It's time for you to feel the true sting of a discard for hand-size duelist. Our opponent will go for a tanky and just thinning that deck so nicely. Oh, I bet they're reaching for a Cosmic Cyclone that will never come. They'll set one card and pass back to us. Okay, I guess we might as well Gamciel. That monster wasn't summoned properly. Now, there is one card that could put a thorn into our plans. In their graveyard is a trap card that allows them to negate the face-up effects of a spell or trap card if they have all 3 of a tri-type. So if it ever looks like they are getting close to having all 3 of a tri-type, we may need to pull the trigger regardless. Till then, we're just going to discard Gamciel for hand size. They'll discard a Kinkabio and pass back to us. Gyarados is something, but we only get to special one of them, and we're only doing 1 attack step at most. We draw another Lightning Storm, and sheesh, I mean, my kingdom for something playable. Where are the mountains? They'll discard a Fractar. Well, there's the mountain, at least. I'm running out of excuses for not taking action. Okay, they're going to normal summon a copy of Fractar. We know that they have set a copy of Monster Reborn, so they could get a tri-type very easily. We know they have Winged Beast, and we don't know the Keros, I believe, which means that conceivably they could be off-beast, but if they're discarding Kinkabio, they probably have enough access to it that I should be scared. They tanky with no targets, that telegraphs the Saros, and I go, alright, it's time to pull the trigger. We're going to fire the Darkhold and activate Warrock Mountain, eating an Ash Blossom and Gamma-ing it as well. This is just more damage on field. We're going to activate the effect of Mountain to get a copy of Bachilios. We're going to normal summon a Forsha, special summon a Gyarados, and wow, we are almost there. We're getting in for... oh. Okay, well... Alright, it looks like our opponent is going to get a turn, but realistically, what can they do? They have nothing in their extra deck! They draw a copy of Pot of Prosperity, they're going to special summon a copy of Turquoise Warbler and get a Cobalt Sparrow. Cobalt Sparrow triggers and gets, I can't believe they still have a Nerval. They'll special summon this copy of Saros and then activate Nerval's effect in order to get a second Saros. They'll activate Linkuriboh here to bring it back, then fire off the Monster Reborn, taking our Gamciel, the biggest monster available. We'll activate Warrock and... they can't get over Bachilios. There's nothing in the deck that does it. We'll trigger Forsha to get another copy of Warrock Mountain, and they will concede! So it's time for game 2, and if it's anything like game 1, I feel extremely confident about our chances. Oh, right. Yeah, they can force us to go first. Huh. Well, maybe they don't have full combo. They're going to use Cobalt Sparrow to... okay, let's go to game 3. So it's time for that all-important game 3, and Oh, the power of blinding second. My opponent has no idea what's in store. There's not a single board they can make that will out what I'm about to do. They'll go for Recital Starling. Do all you want to activate Sapphire Swallow and special summon a copy of Nerval from hand. From here, they're going to activate the effect of Fractar, sending a kid to the graveyard and sending an Oath as well. They'll fire off a Nerval in order to go into a Flaget and an Appaloosa as well. Nerval and Flaget will trigger, and oh, wow, a Fire Formation Tanky, fantastic! They'll activate the effect of Saros, then they'll activate the effect of Saros again to go into a Simorg. They're going to normal summon a Fractar. How silly! They'll activate Simorg, trivial to one such as I, and I scrape a mine off the top. We'll activate the mine. It'll be negated by Avian, and it's time to slumber, baby! Oh. I see. Okay, well, we can still get out the Bachilios by walking our Orpus into a... Alright, let's cut the feed. Can we cut the feed? So, we're back with the deck, and was it bad? Yes. Was it absolutely carried by the powerful equalizers I was playing? Also, yes. Does it deserve the slander the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community has levied against it? I'll leave that for you to decide. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1. It's not nearly as bad as people claimed. The monsters are unintuitive, so it's easy for your opponent to mess them up, and doing so often loses them the game. 2. Going second is better than it's really ever been, thanks to the unbelievable tools blind second decks are packing. We had to cut dark holes for space, for God's sakes. And 3. Every single game you win, your opponents have to live with the fact that they lost to Warrock forever. And the cons. 1. The monsters all have nombos with each other. Some of them need to connect in order to buff so that others stay on field for free specials. Some of them need monsters to be destroyed. It's a mess. 2. Pretty much all the power in this deck is concentrated in the field spell. If you're ever able to negate the mountain, that is the end of the game. And 3. It literally cannot go first. I'm sorry. All in all, this deck sucks, but not as bad as it was claimed to suck. Bye! So that's that. As always, thanks to my patrons, Dominic Ernst, Hakuo, AJBYGO, Alex Perea, BB Poison, Caleb Jassa, Candyman, CJ Alex, Crispy, Dimsum05, Frosty, Jacksack PhD, King Magic Ruler, Nightmari, Lil Learn, Matt, Mike Carlotti, Rocky Hernandez, Rose Lapine, Sarah Routledge, Seeker, Space Dandy 1993, Tyler Slacks, Adam Trevino, Adrian Bra, Amita Lafandi, Amaranta V, Andrew Benson, Andrew Ferruia, Andrew Horseman Lindemann, Angry Bread, Apex Systems, Ballin Stalin, Billy Williams, Blake Root, Brandon Keys, Black Candide, Chad Bortz, Chad Weatherington, Chorps Away, Cole Shulian, Control for the Win, Crystal Red Fox, Daffy Deathclock, Dan the Man Hoban, Darcy Tevz, Dogma, Doug Parslow, Dive Missile, Distrin, Eats Puppies, Emperor Stove, Ernesto Ibarra, Eternal Lamb. Oh god. If you're Arnarson, I'm trying here. Fighting Fangwong, FUTR, Game of Wolf, Hank Cheesecake, Helios the Helios, Haruf, Hosima, Isaac Jackson, Jack Doherty, Jane Linya, Jared Lorman, Jason Leonard, Jay Gordon, Jeff Leonard, Jose Luis Cortez, Juliet Chulian, Callie, Corey Hess, Kurakaze, Lake Bayer, Lawrence, Lightsworn Gorgon, Lottie, Lucas Angles, Lucas Geardis, Lucky Number 5, Lucas Arito Hansen, Major Duncan, Max, Mezzo Emrys, Michael Oskvark, Miyuna Arashi, Nick Extreme 99, Niru Soup, Nix Dolores, No Penguin, Oli Bjarki Austfioro, Papa Dragonite, Pizza Sandwich, Precise Spike 13, Picnic Blasted, Pro FB2, Sam Pinney, Sam Soon, Sapphic Ashley, Sean Deal, Standards Objective, Swinkles, This Machine 237, TJ Steakhouse, Yuri's Best, and Yukie. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing. And if you want to be part of the process, consider following me on Twitch as well. See you next time.